Hey guys, this is No Solution. I'm Scott, and this is my thread response to Flipside Records, Vinyl Community with JC's thread that he started about forgotten, overlooked classic 90s albums. So I don't know if I'd call this a classic, but I really like it. So let's just get into it. The album is Twister by Watershed. They are a band from Columbus, Ohio, and they formed in the late 80s, I believe, when the members were all still in high school. They're high school friends. Recorded demos and played gigs around town and started really developing a following in Columbus and drawing a lot of people to their shows. So eventually they got the attention of the record companies, and eventually they signed with Epic. And a lot of this story is detailed in this awesome book that I really recommend everybody. It's called Hitless Wonder by, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, Joe Ostrike. He's the bass player and co-lead vocalist of Watershed. So this book is kind of a combination of his memoir and the story of a band who never made it. And then they go back and, tell stories from their early days and when they were signed and when it was all champagne and caviar and they were going to be rock stars, and then it never happened. But also in this book, I've never seen in such a clear way broken down how royalties work and how unless you really break and sell millions and millions of albums, you're never going to make any money. So yeah, if you have never heard of this and are interested in that kind of thing, I definitely recommend this book, Hitless Wonder. So anyway, they got signed to Epic, and they were given big-time producer. Jim Steinman of Meatloaf fame was the executive producer on the album. According to the band, he really didn't do too much, but come eat caviar for lunch, and then it got charged to them, which is part of the whole major label deal. Like you everything that happens, they take you out to dinner, they fly in, they're keeping track of all that money, and then when you comes due and you say, well, where's my royalties, and they're like, oh well, actually you owe us $700 for the steak dinner and $3,000 for these plane tickets. And yeah, so a scummy business, but that's not a surprise to anybody. So they are recording this album, and then the record company decides, instead of the album, why don't we release a live EP first? And the band was like, why would we do that? Why would anyone care about a live EP debut? I mean, they had some self-release stuff before that, but basically a debut, a live EP of a band you've never heard of. But the record company, in their genius, insisted, so they put this out, Watershed, 3 Chords in a Cloud of Dust Live. It's a bunch of songs that ended up on the debut album in live versions. It's cool, but I wouldn't have bought this. I mean, who the hell is Watershed, and why should I buy this? So then eventually the album did come out. I haven't even described really what they are. Sort of, this is the mid-90s, and they do fit into the mid-90s kind of aesthetic. They're kind of quasi-alternative, but basically it's just good pop rock songs. I mean, they're a rock and roll band, but they have poppy hooks and catchy songs. And they put this out, and then the record company just kind of forgot about it, and it tanked, and that was it. So this was like the height of their rock and roll dreams, and it was over. And it's just kind of a shame. Actually, they kept putting out records, and I think they got considerably better in the couple years after this. So that shows you what giving a band a chance to find their identity and to develop it can really pay off. And that's not the way anymore. You get an album, and if it doesn't hit, you're out. So yeah, Watershed, Twister. If you're into mid-90s kind of alternative rock and you've never heard of it, I would say check it out. It's got some really good songs on it, and it's a shame that it was forgotten. I was gonna this connected to another video I was going to do, but I will not tack that on. I will make a separate video for that. Just the this band played with and is friends with one of my favorite bands of all time from Detroit, and I will talk about them in the next video. So thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for starting this thread, JC. It was fun. Later.